Yesterday was the shloshim for the three boys. Yaakov Naftali ben Rachel Dvora, Gilad Michael ben Karim, Eyal ben Yeres Shura. Also this week is the shloshim for Roni's mother, Raya ben Shoshana. Our learning should be for Shlema, for the soldiers that have been hurt, and Neshama for the soldiers who have been killed. Special Shmira for ben Ahuba. Okay, so the title of this talk is Should We Be Depressed? And I intended it in terms of its connection to Tish B'Av, because Tish B'Av is the most the saddest time of our year, that we're remembering the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash and everything that came along with that. And we do all kinds of things. We don't have haircuts, and we don't have weddings, and we don't listen to music, and we don't eat meat during the 9 days. We don't wash clothes, we wear dirty clothes, all kinds of stuff that will help us to feel the sadness of the time. The question is, when we have such a sad event, should we be depressed? Like, what's the intention? Is the intention that we're supposed to feel the sadness so much that we walk around and all we think about is being sad, and we think about all the horrible things that happen? We also recognize that Tish B'Av is a time when we remember the destruction of the Jewish communities, like in Germany, Worms, where my family comes from. During the Crusades, thousands of Jews were killed. There are all different times during Jewish history where people were killed. So what's the goal? Is the goal just to be sad? Obviously, the goal isn't just to be sad. We have we think that we repeat a lot the idea that it's a great mitzvah to be happy. Happiness is actually a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to be happy. And it says in the Sefer Devarim, we'll read later in the book, that that Hashem criticizes the Jewish people for not because they didn't do mitzvot, or it doesn't say that we're going to be punished for not doing mitzvot. It says we're going to be punished for not doing mitzvot b'simcha v'tuv levav. If we're not happy when we're doing mitzvahs, we're going to be taken to task for that. Being happy is a very important thing. How is it that we can be happy and we can also go through these difficult things? We're fighting for the continuation of the Jewish people, and the person who died, the soldier that died yesterday, wasn't just somebody, like a road accident. That also has a meaning, but it's much more difficult for us to understand the meaning. It's a person who was out fighting on behalf of the Jewish people, trying to get our enemies away from us, trying to stop the attacks on us. So the way that we can get away from the depression, just feel sad, but get away from the depression, is to recognize that it's part of the plan. It's part of a greater goal. That's true for the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash as well. We know that really the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash happened because the first Beit HaMikdash was because of the three prime sins, Gilui Arayot, Shfichut Damim, and Avodat Zarah. Right? That the Jewish people were not careful about these things, and that's why the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. And in the case of the second Beit HaMikdash, it was because Lashon Hara, there were different other Ben Adam Achadero problems that were going on. Why, in that case, was it the Beit HaMikdash that was destroyed? If it was the Jewish people that were misbehaving, why was it that the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed and not the Jewish people destroyed? Why? It seems like we should be punished. If we're going to be punished, we should be punished. Why should it be the Beit HaMikdash destroyed? The Beit HaMikdash is actually the house of Hashem. Why is that? Because Hashem has an eternal bond with the Jewish people. The Jewish people are never going to go away. It doesn't matter what Hamas wants to do. It doesn't matter what the Iranians want to do. The Jewish people are never going to go away. Hashem needed to give us a punishment that was severe, but He couldn't destroy us because the Jewish people are eternal. So that's why he destroyed the temple. The reason and the reason why that's important is because we need to realize that it's up to us to come back. It's up to us to repair our actions and to return to that place where we were before the temple was destroyed. So the destruction of the temple is an indication to us of a warning that we were on the wrong path and we need to improve. How do we not be depressed by that? Because we know we can improve. Because we know that we can get back there. We know that if we correct ourselves, it says that every day that the temple is not rebuilt, it's as if it was destroyed in that day. That means that we still have remnants of the Gilui Hara, Shlichut Damim, Avodah Zarah, Lashon Hara, problems of Ben Adam L'Chaviro. That still exists today. If we can fix that, and we can, we believe that it's possible. If we do that, then we'll be able to get back to that one. Similarly with the soldiers now in Gaza, it's not because we are fighting a losing battle. No, we're fighting a winning battle. The fact that people have to die in order for that to occur, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. We have to understand what it means that somebody's going to die in battle. What's after this world? This world is just a closed door. It's just an introduction to the real world, which is the Olam Haba, the Olam HaNetzchi. If we put everything into perspective, then that's what's really going to be able to allow us to feel the sadness, but see the hope as well. To feel the sadness and not become depressed, because depression is not the goal. The goal is to use that sadness to move us forward. I just want to mention that we have there's a song that is very popular. Right? The whole world is narrow bridge. The point is not to be afraid. So it's actually a mistake. The quote is attributed to Rabbi Nachman. That's not actually what Rabbi Nachman said. What Rabbi Nachman said is much more powerful. It's not that there are scary things around and it's up to us not to be afraid. Rabbi Nachman says, "V'da, she'adam tzarich la'avor al gesher tzar ma'od me'od. Ve'aklal va'yikar shelo yitpached klal." We have to go on a narrow bridge. The truth is, it's not a narrow bridge. The truth is, we have plenty of leeway. If somebody's worried about their parnasa, if somebody's worried that they don't have enough money, they have a Father in heaven who has all the money in the world and wants to give it. It's just that the person is at the point is the person can work on themselves to the point where they deserve it. That's all that he's waiting for. The truth is that there's nothing to be afraid of. Absolutely nothing. If we have the proper perspective of what's going on, that really the goal is to improve ourselves. What we're supposed to, everyone, we mentioned this at our previous class. Every single person is here to realize that the world it was justification to create the world just for them. For me, I should walk around the world realizing that Cisco, Google, Microsoft, the United States of America, everything that occurs in this world is justified for me to be here. For me to do what? To get close to Hashem, to work on myself, to make my tikkun. If we get the perspective that it's up to us to work on ourselves, and that's really the goal, then that will give us the perspective to understand that there's more to life than the life that we see. There's more to our existence, our family existence, our work existence. There's more to what's going on than what we normally recognize. And if we can do that, and we can put things in the proper perspective, and we can use the difficulties that we see as fuel to attack the challenges that we face personally. If I open up the newspaper and I see that there are soldiers dying, so it's not going to do much for me to recognize that on a daily basis. If I can take that and use it as fuel to understand how I can contribute, how I can work on myself. Do I have good communication with my spouse, with my kids? If I can use that as fuel to work on myself and to build my connection with everyone around me, and by extension Hashem, actually then by extension Hashem really primarily, then that's what's going to get us closer to our goals. And depression is not the goal. The goal is to use all of these things as fuel to get us further in our ability. Without Hashem, we're going to do that. We'll really make the tikkun. We won't have Tisha B'Av. It'll be a Yom Tov instead of a Tisha B'Av. Questions?
Is there a purpose to build the new temple? Because then people will stop working on it.
So the question, that's an excellent question. The goal isn't to have the Beit HaMikdash. The Beit HaMikdash is a tool that we can use to get up on a higher level of working on ourselves. The ultimate would be at the Mashiach. Mashiach comes, right? At that point, it seems like everything's complete. The temple is a step in that process, but then your question comes again. V'yet Mashiach. Okay, Mashiach's here. Great. Now what? So the Rambam says that the only difference between our times and the times of Mashiach is that the Jewish people will not be under the thumb of the Goy. That's what the Rambam says. The only difference is that the non-Jews won't be telling us what to do. We'll know, we'll be able to do exactly what we need to do, and we won't have to worry about what everybody's going to say. You may, as some people say, even today, that's exactly what we should do. We should not worry so much about what everybody's saying, and just do what we need to do. But it's an excellent question, exactly what is the Mashiach and what we're going towards. But presumably there will still be something to work on. Maybe it'll be a much more fine-tuned kind of work. Obviously today we have tremendous things to work on.
I was taught in school back then that around Tish it's good, it's like not good to be impressed, but it's important to show your empathy with what happened thousands of years ago. There's no other religion or anything that keeps these kinds of things going.
That's right. Right.
So it's important to somewhat
to be sad, yeah. It's definitely important to be sad. I read somewhere in an article that, like you said, there's no other tradition has this kind of a process where every year we go back, and that's one of the things that keeps the Jewish people.
So Christianity does that for the death of Jesus every year.
So that's true. I think he's talking about a calamity that happened to the entire people. That I remember somebody telling me a mashal that the king used to be a peasant, and the king is now a king, but he has a room in his castle that he keeps to himself. Nobody can go there. What happens? One day he's in there, and somebody opens the door by accident. What does he see? The king's dressed as a peasant. If we continue thinking that we are who we are today, and forget about the past, then we'll never get anywhere ahead. Right? It's the past that drives us, and that's something that you see the Jewish people have been able to get through so much. It's from this ability to remember the past to be able to move forward.